Something come on. There we go. All right. It wasn't working. Thank you so much, Aaron, for that. Greatly appreciated. So let me just restart. Thank you, everybody, for joining in tonight here on our Tuesday Night Live. Greatly appreciated. Aaron, thank you so much for being in the chat here this evening. Also, yes, the sound was off, so we got that all fixed, and I'll edit that out at the beginning. Not a big deal. It is what it is. So when we're sitting here today, of course, as you can see by the title is going to be your investment in Pokemon may change with new printers. Basically, there was a person in the last live that brought up that there's new printers, and I had heard rumors. It's always been a rumor. It's been flying around for a long period of time that Pokemon's been going to increase production by increasing printers, and we were going to see a lot more printers and a lot more product, and all this stuff was going to go all over the place, and we never have really seen that. And that's been some theory or been said since realistically 2020, 2021. It's something we heard, and actually they bought Millennial Print Group in that time period, so that was kind of the big move that they made. And so that's kind of where we've been, is Millennial Print Group got purchased back in 2022, right before Brilliant Stars. And I think Brilliant Stars might have been like the first set that we actually got through the Millennial Print Group. If not, Astral Radiance was the first set, but right in that time frame was when we had that big jump in the production levels back in 2022. And that's where we were seeing that big change, and supposedly going to give accessibility and priority to Pokemon to be able to get reprints through or get print time and be able to get the product out that people were really looking for. And that is something that, once again, we're not really seeing it, right? Even though Pokemon supposedly has priority because they have the umbrella ownership of Millennial Print Group, they still aren't printing to the demand that's out there currently in the market. So there has been some interesting things. So I talked to Jake from ACD, and once again, this is a secondary source. It isn't like it's a primary source when we're talking about what's going on with Pokemon and how they're doing things. But this is what they're getting from Pokemon International, and their plan with Millennial Print Group is that right now Millennial Print Group is hiring a bunch of people. So the speculation is that Millennial Print Group in the United States is ramping up production. Now, does that mean that they've brought in more machines? Does that mean that they need more staff to be able to do this? Is it just a rumor? And he said currently, from their understanding, is that the United States plan is hiring more people to get more workers in there. They've had some shifts and things, but as of right now, the United States is not going to necessarily be increasing the print production here in America. The big production changes that are coming, from his understanding and what I've kind of pieced together from other things as well, is the European one is increasing its size. It sounds like the European Millennial Print Group that they have established is now going to double in size. And what that is going to do for us in this particular market is that it's going to make it so that we may not be sending as much to Europe. So basically, instead of sending a ton to England like we do, or the European nations that speak English, we are now going to see a reversal of that, where we're going to see it stay here in the United States. So basically, they're not going to increase the necessarily the American version or the United States version of North Carolina. They're not going to increase the production levels in that, not really increasing machine capacity. They are hiring people for shortages and work-related things, probably laborers to put things together, packaging and shipping and all the things that are probably going into it, because they don't just do Pokemon there. Obviously, we've got misprints that prove that as well, but I think most of us have known that pretty regularly when it comes down to it, that overall, we do know that they are printing other things, and they are putting priority to other things as well, including sports cards and those kind of areas in the genre. And so they need laborers to be able to increase that. That's what Jake said from ACD, is from Pokemon International, that they're not increasing the number of machines. They're not increasing the number of their capacity in the North Carolina plant. But the European plant, they are doubling the size of the European plant. And they are also going to increase in Japan, the printing facilities in Japan, to cover simplified Chinese, the Chinese market, going into Japanese and all the other markets as well, Korean, and they're also looking at other ones as well. So basically, the thought process is because they're sending less to Europe, they don't need to increase the size of the United States plant, that they're just getting laborers there, but they'll be able to still technically print more for the English market for Pokemon rather than shipping it to England. And England is definitely a big market as well when it comes down to products. So if you alleviate the amount of time that you need to print for the European market or for the English market, England, UK market, then that's definitely going to trickle more back into our own market when it comes down to that. So basically, that's kind of what the thought process is right now, is that they are just going to increase the size of the European one and increasing Japanese, or the Japanese print facilities for those two markets. The English will naturally get more just because of that. So that's where we kind of are right now. What does that mean for your investment? Well, it means that we might have more accessibility to product here in the near future, because if that happens here, the UK, or the one that supplies UK, Millennial Print Group Europe, is supposed to be online right now. It should be coming up to speed with the extra print runs here right now, which means coming into black and white, technically we might be seeing more product availability in the United States. They're still going to print the same, but more of it's going to stay in the US market rather than it going to the UK market, which is going to be huge. And the other question is about Australia too, is the United States currently feeds Australia as well. Are they going to print that in Europe and also send that to Australia as well? So depending on how they work that, depending on how everything's going to lay out, that's definitely what we're kind of looking at when it comes down to that. Our investments, hey, product might become more available. We might see some sizable drops when it comes at release, where product prices might actually be accessible for more people. People might be able to buy things on the primary market, but we also have to consider greed in that as well, that if MJ Holding gets more product, are they going to put more in Walmart's, or are they just going to sell more on their online store at market price? And if the continued boom continues to move forward, it's definitely going to be one of those things where it could go either way. We got to see a tremendous increase in product, and to realistically make a change in this market, make a dent in this market, and change the focus to where we get product on the shelf, because we have people just literally waiting in line for the reps to come and fill the shelves. So, for example, this guy right here, right behind me, let me get to the right spot. So that prismatic UPC right there, there's already people sitting at the Walmart, because in our local town, because they know that they come tomorrow morning at about 7 a.m. to restock the shelves. We did not get that in our Walmarts last week. So the thought process is that it's going to be in there this week on Thursday when they come to do the release or come to restock. So there's people already waiting outside of Walmart, literally sitting on the edge of the curve, waiting for that product to get delivered. So it's pretty crazy what we're actually seeing, and it's pretty crazy to see what's actually occurring right now in this current market. But right now, overall, we're going to have to see tremendous increase of production. We could see that now if all that product isn't going to UK and staying in the United States. If the UK or European facilities up to speed, it may not be as bad as what we were looking at potentially for black and white. We might see more product, contrary to what other content creators have been saying, that that's going to be worse, if not the same as Destin's Rival and everything else. We might actually be on the reverse side of that. We might be able to get more product. Time will tell if the European print facility is going to be up in time for black and white and be fully operational by that time. That's really the question. The other question is, once again, this is an ACD source that's coming in. I don't have anybody directly in Pokemon that's telling me this, or I don't have anybody directly in Millennial Print Group that's saying this, but that's what the right now the reps are saying when it comes down. They're hearing from Pokemon International. So basically, that's what we're kind of looking at when you're looking at it for what we're going to have available. It's going to be pretty much easier to get product here, hopefully in black and white. Be interesting to see if that's going to actually come true. The other question is are we going to start seeing reprints if they got more time to print, specifically English or United States market stuff? Are they going to get more time to put it in for United States and Canada? Get bigger reprints, maybe see more reprints for like Surging Sparks, Temporal Forces, like these little itty bitty ones that we've been getting that have been absolutely worthless to try and curve anything in this market. We might actually be able to see bigger ones happen to where it could make a dent in this market, or maybe change the pricing. I mean, we're seeing these little drops. Like now, Surging Sparks is dropping a little bit because of this reprint that's kind of rolling out right now. But there again, it's not a very large reprint, so I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference overall in the hindsight of everything that's occurring right now. Second thing that I kind of want to talk about when we're looking at things that are happening right now in Pokemon in this market, particularly, is we're hearing a lot of people talking about how the first set here with the Megas is going to be the end of the Pokemon hobby, because they keep coming up with different reasons that it's not a desirable era, that black and that XY Evolutions wasn't necessarily a good era in Pokemon as strong as it was in the like base set or in current market. And there's a lot of things that are, in my opinion, just kind of false on that. I think we have a chance to potentially revive some people into this market. I think we have a chance to see new people that maybe have been partially in it with a mega set coming in full force and actually getting directly involved into that. And that's really something that I'd be interested to see when it comes down to the next sets. Do I think that Pokemon's going to do anything that's going to hamper its current train movement, keeping that engine running full speed going into the 30th anniversary? I don't think so. I think Pokemon's going to do everything it can to try and maintain this momentum. They are going to release more product because they don't want to lose people. And I think that's the bigger factor that people need to look at, is that Pokemon doesn't want to lose people in the market. They don't want to have people just give up and leave. So adding more product to the shelves and getting more products to the shelves is definitely going to be a reoccurring thing that's going to help. But they also are going to be sure that they preserve the fact that the markets are strong going into the 30th anniversary. We're very close. We're probably going to get some 30th anniversary announcements, like I'm guessing like 2021, where they started making these announcements right at the beginning of the year. So as we're coming into the beginning of the year, we're probably going to get a layout for kind of the timeline for events that are going to occur coming forward into the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon TCG. It's hard to believe, guys, that a lot of us, I know, even on my chat here right now, individuals that I know that have been here since 2021, like Aaron Scott, been with me since 2021 through the last anniversary, and here we are 5 years later, still chilling here on YouTube, having the discussions about what's going on in the Pokemon market. And guys, I think that this market's going to continue to do very well for the next year. The only thing that's really going to hamper things is things really do go south in like the overall like market, and we get a really bad like recession or a depression in the United States, where we see global markets completely collapse. But if they continue to do well and everybody continues to just kind of move along, if we start seeing some of these relaxations that, like in the United States now, we might be seeing some tax regulations that are going to relax our amount that we need to pay in. For example, I don't know if a lot of people, and I'm not going to go too much into politics, but currently there's a bill that's passing the House, going to the Senate, that should be releasing for no tax on tips, as was said, no tax on your overtime, and no tax on Social Security. That's going to potentially open up an opportunity to potentially get more business as well. If you have people working overtime and be able to keep that money rather than losing a portion of that for doing it, it's definitely going to be an incentive for people to work more overtime, and more overtime means more money, and more money means that they're potentially going to go and buy more cards, right? They're going to buy more stuff just because they are wanting that particular, because they have more money to put into these particular items again. So it's definitely potentially a really good thing, and we could really see some good opportunities moving forward and seeing some good things on the overall markets here in the United States if these things actually pass through like they're supposedly going to. If the Republicans back the current market and where things are going, it should definitely go through. Now, whether or not we have someone in the Senate or someone that backs out on it is really going to be the real question. So, like I said, I don't like talking politics, and I'm not trying to make this like a politic Republican Democrat thing on here, but I just want to keep up to date with potential market things and what could affect our market here. And these are just the things that come up that definitely should be looked at. And that may be a good thing to be talking about as well. So overall, like I said, I just wanted to touch base on that as what potentials we may be having in this current market without getting into like the nitty gritty politics of it. You know, no tax on tips. These things are all things that could help our economy, and really potentially that's what people do with their extra money, right? If you're making extra money, you're not paying taxes on that, you're keeping it at home. People tend to spend it on for themselves. I mean, they're going to buy things that they enjoy, and whether or not that's a trip across the country at this point in time or family vacations is probably maybe not quite there with doing that kind of a shift in that, but there's definitely a chance for there to be extra spending money in the home to be able to do that stuff. So like I said, these are some things that I really do see happening. I don't think Pokemon International is going to do anything to hamper currently its progress going into the 30th anniversary. They're not going to, even if Millennial Print Group gets a ton more printing, I still don't think they're going to utilize all of that printing capability to put into new sets or put into reprints. I think they're going to marginally increase to see how the market reacts to these marginal increases. So they're going to try and increase maybe 10, 15% and see if it's absorbed fairly quickly. And then they might try and go 20, 25% on a few sets. I think we're going to see marginal increases. Then they're going to just kind of grade how well that's affecting the market and what's going to happen with that in the near future and how they're going to futuristically keep doing that. So are they going to put 100% of the printing facility back into just Pokemon? I don't think so. I think there's enough other things with sports cards and stuff too that they're printing that they definitely could use that to definitely run that part of the business as well. So yeah, like I said, it's interesting. It's interesting that Europe is probably doubling the facility. That's going to feed UK now, and by that feeding the UK market, it's going to allow more to stay here. So it doesn't sound like, just to recap that for anybody that wasn't in here, it doesn't sound like the North Carolina facility is growing very much. The real growth in Millennial Print Group right now is in the European market. So the European market is doubling their facility. The United States North Carolina facility is just increasing production and hiring people to increase their labor force to get things out a little bit quicker, but their printing facility really is not increasing any kind of adding printers or doing that kind of stuff. He said maybe something small, but they're not doing anything big or any like big remodelments or additions on the facility in North Carolina. It's all in the European facility to try and shift that market that direction. So some interesting things, but it's good. I mean, it's good it would be good. There's that double-edged sword that I always have to play, right? When you're looking at the business side of things, everybody thinks that this market is doing really well and that this is really, really great time to be able to sell cards at a really high price. You're making bank. And the fact of the matter is that, as I've talked about before, that's not true necessarily. You only make bank, you only make big money when you actually have quantity to be able to go through. If I can't get anything from distributors to put into my shop to sell, I'm not making any money, right? If I'm having to go to a secondary source and pay market value for products, then I'm almost playing the gambling game where I'm hoping the price goes up in order for me to be able to sell it and make profit. So it's an interesting fact that everybody thinks that, yeah, I'm making big money. This is actually a down year right now. Currently, as of 2025, I am down from 2023 and 2024. Through the first quarter, I am down about 22%. And the second quarter of this year, I'm probably going to be down closer to 30% on my overall throughput. The only good news is it's actually helping is I can't buy stuff. So thus I'm actually spending less money. So my profit margins are actually technically better, but my overall income is definitely not there compared to what it used to be. So definitely be wanting to see more product. I would love to see more product where I can go to my distributor and purchase things the right way, make my $1 per pack like I was doing, charging $3.99 a pack versus now $6.99 a pack in order to be able to try and make it, because I'm buying from distributor. When it comes up, I'm paying MSRP. I'm paying $5 a pack for Pokemon cards. So by the time I pay shipping and fees and everything else and packaging and all that other stuff, it's got to be about $6.50, $6.99 a pack is where I got to be in order to actually break even on that. So that's definitely a thing that we really are looking forward to when it comes down to why we want more product. Do I want to see things get blown up, completely blown up? Not necessarily. I don't want to see the whole market completely flooded, because I do have an investment side of things where I do like to see that at least maintain its value, or if it does dip slightly but go nowhere near to where I bought it, that would be the ideal situation that I really would like to see. So it's definitely going to be a really interesting situation here, potentially in black and white, how that may shift and how we might see that shifting of the markets and where that's going to go as the European Millennial Print Group facility completely comes online. And is it going to happen before black and white? Because they are printing black and white probably right at this point. At this point in time, we know that they are, because obviously if you go to the East Coast, there's already some booster boxes out there of some black and white, which is absolutely insane to me that this product is even getting out there already at this point in time. But it just goes to show that the North Carolina facility is already in full-fledged print mode for black and white. And that would mean that the European market or European Millennial Print Group should also be doing the exact same thing. So Hopefully they have it online. Hopefully the fact and the information is correct on that, and that the UK market is going to be taken by the European print group rather than shipping over there. And I think part of that might be spurring that is the tariff deals as well. You think about that for Pokemon having the availability to go and just print in Europe, the UK or in Europe, and not have to pay those hefty taxes to leave the United States potentially with the current tariff war that we have. And right now it's kind of simmering and going down. Prices are coming down a little bit on the tariff, so we're getting that relaxation point at this point right now. But if negotiations fail, the price could go up. So why not just print in the European nations, send to UK without having them high tariffs, and just feed the American market where you're not shipping out of America? Once again, it's more profitable for Pokemon International print closer to the countries that are their biggest markets. They're going to have a little bit of a fee to go to Canada, of course, but that's not necessarily it's a pain, but it may not be as effective as going to Europe or going to other countries at this point in time. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Going to be able to potentially see some more product come out, which will be great. It's going to be really good to see that increase on the shelves if this all pans out, and hopefully it does for black and white, because all the people that are saying the black and white is going to be pretty dismal, I hope that they're wrong and we actually at least maintain, if not go up in the numbers if this is actually happening. So there we go. And that's it, guys. I'm through my little 22-minute speech here at the beginning, and anybody that is new here or hasn't been here a while, I always go through the first 20 minutes here where I go through a little bit of rant and talk about a specific topic that may affect your investments. So this is definitely something, if we get more product and they're doing more reprints, could affect your investments. So once again, that be cautious, be vigilant on what's happening in the markets. It's definitely important right now to make sure that you're not overspending on products that could be printed very heavily here in the near future. Could Prismatic Evolutions at this point in time. So if they take all of that market share to Europe and you have the open printers, could they print Prismatic Evolutions again like Shining Fates? Absolutely. There's nothing stopping it. And if they have the availability, they may, because it's such a hot set and moves so fast that there is definitely benefits for them to do so and actually get that product out in the market more and more. So once again, we're through that. So let's go through the chats. If you guys got any questions, please throw them up on the chats. As always, I do try to keep up with the chat or with the comments as well. So if you are watching this later, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and hit that notify. And also put your information in the comments, any questions you have, and I definitely try to respond to that. If it's just some quick question, I've been just hitting the heart on it. But I mean, if it's an in-depth question where you got stuff that you want to talk about, we definitely do try and cover that for you guys after the lives as well. So, and we also are doing at least one video a week right now, and I'm doing multiple shorts, as you guys see. I've been trying to keep up on shorts, trying to drive this algorithm a little bit, trying to work with YouTube, and then we are doing rip and ships as well. Friday night, 9, and at Sunday night at 9 p.m. Central as well. So if you guys would like to join us, have some fun, definitely check that out also. So here we go. We're going to go into the chat. Hey, Aaron Scott, thank you so much for coming in and let me know I had no sound at the beginning before we got too far into it. Greatly appreciated. We got Blitzkrieg in here tonight. We got Frank Nitty. Thank you so much for being in here, Frank. It's been a little bit since I've seen you in here. Antonio, as always, greatly appreciated to have you into the chat. And then we have Pokemart TCG joining us. And last one in here, Secondhand Hype. So we got Secondhand Hype in here as well. So we'll go right here because the Secondhand Hype just asked a question that I do want to answer really quick. And he said, hello, do you think Destin's Rivals booster boxes will be a good investment? And the answer is yes. I think that the Team Rocket set is definitely going to be a good investment. Number one, it's a cool set. Number two, it's nostalgic. And number three, I think that it's going to be low print rate. Now, are they going to reprint that to the ground? I don't know if they will or not. It sounds like a lot of people are kind of convinced that we're switching over eras here after this next set. And when we do so, I think that it's going to really affect where they print things at that point in time. And that's really what's going to drive those three factors. So I think it's a good investment. I think it's going to do really well. We got Eldaro. Damn, man, I can't even talk. Eldorado, thank you so much for dropping in. And the Galactic, thank you so much for dropping in as well. Welcome on in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe and hit that like button if you're joining us here. I'm going to go back to the beginning here, and I'm going to talk about some of the comments that came on here. We had Aaron Scott talking about me not having the mic, so thank you so much. Blitzkrieg, back in 2022, they acquired, yes, they did. 2022 is when they acquired Millennial Print Group. The word on the street is that Brilliant Stars is actually the first. It actually was like the tail end of 2021, and they actually started printing fully, running it at Brilliant Stars. So Brilliant Stars is probably one of the first sets that was fully, might have been fully printed by Millennial Print Group at that point in time. Blitzkrieg also says, but yeah, I've been hearing too many rumors about the current printers working on Sparks and Prismatic. Yes, we've got confirmation that we are getting Surging Sparks coming out. So we do know we're getting more. How much? I have no idea. Are we looking at potentially like a Temporal Forces sized one? More than likely. It seems to be what we've been getting, which is barely enough to even satisfy the current market. It barely makes an effect. Right now we're seeing like Paldea Evolve, Temporal Forces, you know, all these sets that have had reprints at this point in time, even Twilight Masquerade, going into all of them. They get these little bit of a blip. Everybody panics, sells because they think they're going to lose money. And then it's barely enough, and the box drops $20 and then goes right back up. So is that going to be the case with Prismatic and going? Well, Prismatic, I don't think will make any difference. Right now, we're in the midst of a Prismatic reprint right now, so ETBs are available. We're getting reprints of ETBs available. Granted, there's not a ton of them again. Once again, a lot of distributors are forcing you to buy a large sum of junk in order to be able to get those ETBs. Southern Hobby right now, you have to buy $2,500 worth of crap to get 6 ETBs at $50, $55 a piece, $56 a piece for 6 ETBs if you buy $2,500 worth of crap. And a lot of people aren't doing that. Neither, you know, I'm not going to pay $2,500 and go buy like all kinds. I mean, realistically, I have to go and buy anything from like the Ultra Pro sleeves, Ultra Pro binders. I can go through, do like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever they have for that stuff to try and get that stuff on the shelf. But that's definitely not something that I'm interested in for trying to get 6 boxes, not even at my normal like distributor rate. So it's just not worth it right now at this point in time. We'll see how things change if more print is available. Maybe Surging Sparks and Prismatic will be bigger ones. I'm not 100% sure. Blitzkrieg, hopefully they got 2020 vision and good motor function because quality control is whack. It's bad. Even the new set, I got Destin's Rivals, and it's been pretty lackluster so far on a lot of the cards coming out of Destin's Rivals for the pre-release tournaments. The pre-release boxes were pretty rough. Frank Nitty says, checking in, what's up? What's good, bro? Not much. Market's doing good. Everything's looking good. I mean, that's what we're looking for here when it comes down to Pokemon. That, and we're having some fun. We just had our pre-release tournaments. Saturday, we had pre-release tournaments. Had a lot of fun. Really good decks on that one. A lot of fun to have play the actual the game. Playing the TCG with a bunch of guys. We didn't have as big of a turnout, though, for it, which was kind of interesting. It may just be because of the time of the year. Getting into May, it was a nice weekend. Trying to get people indoors during a nice weekend can be very difficult, but we were able to get extra boxes afterwards. So we did get 3 extra boxes, and I'm going to start releasing those shorts as well. If you did follow the live on Sunday, there was a little bit of a sneak peek to one of the shorts, but we will be having the shorts put out there as well of all the cards that are coming out of Destin's Rivals, kind of broken down. So we've got we had a total of 3 built-in battle boxes that I opened up here. So a total of 6 packs that we had some fun with, or 6 packs, sorry, total of 12 packs that we had some fun with, just seeing what we could get out of those built-in battle boxes. And built battle boxes are typically fairly good. I mean, you usually get some hits out of them, which are always nice as well. So we got, I just see Galactic sits on here. He's got this, the Galactic says also, where do you do rip and ships? I do them right here on YouTube and on Drip. So you can do Drip Shop Live, or you can come to YouTube. Both of them are active at that point in time. So if you'd like to join in, we are running and having some fun then, opening up the latest sets. So yeah, if you would like to join us then, the Galactic, that's when we will be here. And that's when we do it. So it's on Friday at 9 p.m., Sunday at 9 p.m. Okay, let's see here. Blitzkrieg just said, might go tomorrow for a look-see at Target. No SPC for release, and I was bummed out first time. I actually was in line for minutes and only had when they sit in the traffic for work. Oh, yeah, and that was just it. Mine didn't have them, so we didn't get any at our local Walmart. So I don't know if that's a sign that they just didn't get any, or if MJ Holding them selling them on their online stores and cut all the small stores. I have no idea where it went. The ones I have 2 behind me, you can see, and those were both from my distributors. So I got one from each one of my distributors, from ACD and from Southern Hobby, so they are sitting behind me at this point in time. But yeah, that's basically all that I was able to get, and there were none at the stores. So, and like I said, tonight I was at the store. There's at least 3 guys sitting there right now in lawn chairs, which is kind of funny because in Wisconsin right now we are at 39 degrees, so it's going to be freaking cold tonight. They're sitting out there in the cold, hoping that they bring them for the for tomorrow's shipment. And like I said, she gets there usually about 7 o'clock, 7:30 to restock the shelves. I'm not even going to bother if they're already there, because they're going to sit there and be in the store waiting at 6 o'clock, like circling the area and puppy guarding it. And I'm just not going to get into any altercations over something stupid. We got Frank Nitty. My local area cooked for Destin's rivals. Locally, LGSs were sold pre-releases last week and canceled this week. GameStop looks to be selling booster boxes at $199 instead of $140, like the last few sets. Yes, and GameStop has shifted to where they are sitting there and they're selling at market price. Our GameStop says that they are not selling quite at market price because of the location it's at. They are selling at about 50% of market price, or they're whatever MSRP is the market, they're splitting the difference. So they're about 50% of the way there for the overages on those particular markets. So we have America. Nice Blitzkrieg. Pokemon TCG. What's up, Andy? And Northwoods Bunker Gang. Thank you so much, Pokemon TCG, for joining in. Antonio said, fun fact, when base set was released in the United States, it was so popular that it was reprinted 20 times to try to cater to the demand at the time. It was. They had actually like airplane hangars full of base set unlimited. There were pictures back in the day where it was literally just like Boeing 747 hangars just full of that product. So yes, they did print a ton of base set, and people don't. Now it just was never saved, so it didn't really make a difference. There was no collecting was very small back then. Holding on to product and protecting cards was non-existent back then. A lot of it was players, and a lot of people were just hyped up on the TV show and the commercials. The commercials they had were just drawing everybody in. So yeah, there was definitely a huge demand for the set. I remember them being on the playgrounds and everything else. So there was definitely that action happening when it came down to Pokemon. But yes, there was a ton printed. Wizards of the Coast printed a ton of base set. Jungle, Fossil, Rocket weren't far behind it either. They had a ton of print on all of those sets. Blitzkrieg, silly US, how many Zards were let loose? Yeah. There's tons of Zards running around. Fusion Strike at around $800 a booster box. Is it $800? No way. I haven't even paid attention to Fusion Strike. Hopefully you mean it's getting close. Fusion Strike booster box. What are we at? Where are we at? Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me, Goose. Where are we at? Geez, $750. There you have it. $750 booster boxes right now of Fusion Strike. Yeah, that's a deal right there. Even the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are at about $250. And I remember going online 2 years after that set came out and all was buying those. I bought another case of those for Pokemon Center pricing because they were just sitting there. Nobody wanted them. They sat on Pokemon Center forever. Let's see here. If you know, you know. Got secondhand. Hello. Did you have a good weekend? I had a great weekend. It was a really fun weekend. El Dorado. I definitely had a lot of fun with the pre-release. The pre-release was fun. Getting my hands on the new set. A lot of fun on that. So here's some of the stamp promo. So I got 3 of them sitting here, or 2 of them, I believe. I got the other one upstairs. One of them that I really do like is the Typhlosion's, a really cool one. So this is in the set as well, but this is the Typhlosion that's coming inside of there with the nice stamp promo on it. And then they do have the Team Rocket's Tyranitar as well with the stamp promo if it'll focus here. Let me do that. That way, hopefully it'll focus. Come on. So yeah, but anyways, that's what we got. The Team Rockets Tyranitar as well. So that was a really fun. Those are the ones that I got out of the 3 that I opened here. We also got one of the other ones upstairs between the 3 kits we opened. So a lot of fun. Let's see here. We went through that. Definitely long term on Rocket. Rocket's gonna be long term. I think there's gonna be multiple prints on that. But I definitely think it's gonna do well futuristically. Secondhand hype. What Sword and Shield, if any, booster boxes would you suggest to invest in, or what SB boxes would you suggest? Tough one. Sword and Shield right now, I'm definitely focusing on Silver Tempest right now. There's 2 places that I'm really kind of focusing on currently at this point in time. Silver Tempest booster boxes are definitely ones that I feel, well, they've even increased it since I started. So I haven't bought them since the beginning of May here when they were around $200 or $250. And if you look on auctions, you can get them a little bit cheaper. Silver Tempest, though, really making some gains right now, and that's kind of taken off since the beginning of the month. Crown Zenith, definitely another one that I've been targeting. It's one of those sets where it took a little bit to get everything going, but once the market got going on it, it's been doing better and going better and better. Even the ETVs are doing rather well at this point in time. They're about $160. The one thing that's interesting is, though, is how much faster some of these Sword and Shield sets are even catching up to Hidden Fates. So even right now, I've been kind of looking at Hidden Fates again as well, because let me pull it up real quick just to give you, in case something's changed, because this with baseball I've been a little bit behind. So right now, Hidden Fates Elite Trainer boxes are about $300, and comparatively to a set, I think Hidden Fates is a lot more fun. I think it's a lot. I enjoy Hidden Fates, and the Charizard's a lot more fun chase. Let me pull up in one other one. It's going to be kind of one that I've been watching from Sword and Shield at this point in time. Now I'm going to see what the pricing is, because I haven't really paid attention. Yeah, okay, it is still fairly decent in price. Is going to be the other one that I was going to look in targeting a little bit more is Champion's Path. Biggest reason why I've been kind of focusing again on Champion's Path is it's kind of been lackluster again, kind of slow. The last 6 months, it went way down. There was an opportunity. I knew back in like February, I was buying them for like $95 again, under $100 value, and then it slingshotted right back up to about $125. Kind of like sitting around that $125 right now. But when Champion's Path goes, it really goes. Like you'll go from, for example, 95 all the way up to 130. So that's a pretty good chunk of change jump up when it comes down to that set. Granted, overall the set's junk, but it still has 2 Charizards in them, and both of those 2 Charizards are doing rather well for pricing at this point in time, which is always a big factor when I'm looking at why I go after specific sets, including something like Champion's Path. Do I think Champion's Path's a great set? No, absolutely not. Do I think the ETBs will have some value overall? Yeah, I mean, the Charizards are still running $200 plus a piece. And the PSA 10s are still doing well as also, but we are seeing a little bit of an uptick on price on those as well. So for example, if we go back to like December, we were at about, for example, the shiny Charizard, the black Charizard, that one was about $185, and now currently today it's already up to $230. So we are seeing some increases in the value of those Charizards in that set as well. Is it going to be a priority set? If you're looking at Sword and Shield, I think that you're going to do fairly well on it. I just wouldn't put a ton of money into that set. It's just a nice little backer in the background to try and go after. Lost Origins, pretty much out of here at this point in time if you haven't gotten on that. Brilliant Stars is another one. And I'm going back because these are things that I was doing like at the beginning of May. I want to be sure I give you good information for today, because at the beginning of May I was targeting some of these. I haven't targeted them in the last few months, and yeah, even at this point in time. So if I went to the beginning of May here, we were about $300, $250, $300. Now even that one's $435. Now, do I think Brilliant Stars still has plenty of ground to gain in it? Yeah, I think that's still good. It's just becoming one of those really high-end investments at this point in time where it may not be the right time to really jump into it at this point in time. There might be better options for these particular products, like Surging Sparks now going into a reprint. might be a good one in Scarlet and Violet to be really watching as the prices continue to come down, or as a reprint fully rolls out. That's definitely going to be a good factor, or a good one to jump into. It's a Pikachu set. I mean, realistically, you got a high Pikachu set, but it's still a decent value, and it's got enough hype behind it. It's doing well. Prismatic, if you can get any Prismatic at MSRP right now, huge buy at this point in time. And Shrouded Fable is one of them. I know I've been kind of a naysayer about Shrouded Fable, and to this day, I am still kind of a naysayer on Shrouded Fable because it's still MSRP. But 100% honesty, it's getting to the point where it's getting cheap enough where the price is going to go up, right? Comparatively, unless we get some major reprints in Scarlet and Violet, Shrouded Fable naturally is going to start going up, because even if we go back to, let's go back to February. February, we were at $38, $39 in ETB. We've already gone up to about $55. So now you're at MSRP at this point in time, and the graph is still going in that upward direction on the set. It's just very, very slow. It's a long-term hold, but I still think that if this market continues to do what it's doing, there's opportunity in this set as well. Once again, another set like Champion's Path, I wouldn't sink thousands of dollars into it. I would be thinking of it as a small, like, side investment to get into, and just kind of put maybe a little bit, something to diversify your portfolio a little bit, to try and get one of these sets that maybe hasn't been a little bit underperforming, to try and get in on those sets and try and get up on those before they really take off, or finally do get legs, because they will get legs eventually. It's just a matter of time for when will it get legs, and do you have position in it when it does. Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking here because Paldean Fates, another one. I'm actually surprised Paldean Fates hasn't had any reprints. But overall, the market's been pretty flatlined. It's another one that Bubble Mew could be a factor for that set to eventually pop off as well. Give it a reason to finally go again. Would be that Bubble Mew if it starts performing. Right now, it's raw $302. We had that spike. It's kind of been sitting at about $750, $800 right now for that PSA 10. When it comes down to the raw, we've kind of seen a settling on that as well. So there's definitely, potential on this set to go again. It just depends on if someone's going to finally drive it, if there's going to be someone in the market that's going to start these prices going again on these older sets. Hype is really set right now on Destin's Rivals. Destin's Rivals coming out in the store. Definitely going to be good investments to try and get that MSRP right now at this point in time. So anytime you can get Destin's Rivals at MSRP or less are definitely going to be great opportunities right now in the Scarlet and Violet era. Let's see here. I hope that answers that question when you're for what you're asking for. I know I gave you a lot of information in that little tidbit. Where was I now? Nothing moved. Hey there, definitely long term. Okay, there it was. Galactica, yeah, I already told you we rip and ship on YouTube 9 and 12. So if you hit the notify and hit that subscribe and notify to the channel, you should get notifications on it as well. And then if you do join the channel membership, everybody, just so you know, if you join any level of the channel membership, you do get the opportunity to get the monthly specials that we do for our members also in the membership. So we do have free shipping right now on one order, no matter how big it is this month. And that's going to be a great opportunity to just jump in, pick up some cards that you're looking for. If you want to jump in and rip and ship, you'll get a free rip and ship. We do ship ripped or sealed, so I don't care how I get it to you. Whichever way you want it, that's how I'll ship it. Beautiful. So we got here, going back up here, Blitzkrieg. I heard MJ Holding is under lawsuit. It might be holding out on distribution. Yeah, and that could be as well. I did hear that exact same thing, Blitzkrieg, that MJ Holding officially did get a lawsuit notice by the fact that by what they were doing, not providing opportunity in that, and then also their mystery packs and stuff were brought up for potential fraudulent charges as well. Some of those, like $7.99 is the value inside of it. Is it scamming because they say there's this hollow or really good cards inside of there to make them sound like there's really, really good cards, but they're selling them to you for $7.99, which is more than the packs that you could buy from Pokemon, and there's no opportunity inside of them. The hit rates on those are absolutely atrocious, and it's something that came up to question as well for a lawsuit. Do I know the technical terms that were put onto that lawsuit? No, I don't. I don't know if that's what's actually in it, but that's the speculation that's been running around on Reddit right now when it comes down to MJ Holdings under a suit from actual some number one from stores and also a class action. So there, it sounds like there's a multiple lawsuits that are going right now. Stores, so it's like both are a class action, I think, but some of them are from stores and some of them are retailers and some of them are from personal. The Galactic, how do you work around all those bots when drops come? I was up at 3 a.m. trying to get a SPC drop and got to the checkout page and kept getting sold out. You can't. The bots are impossible. Pokemon Center now, I think, has a really, really good implementation to prevent that being an issue with their line system. So you can't just buy and then re-enter right away. You buy and then you go to the end of the line and then you got to wait again. It seems like that's been a pretty good solution for Pokemon at this point in time. The only thing I don't like about it is that you have to, for example, like if I'm on the road, I have to keep the phone from going to sleep, because if the phone goes to sleep, it closes out and restarts my queue. I actually have to put it on my tablet in my vehicle because my tablet's on a long hold, which is my work tablet, but I own the company, so I'll talk to the boss later about it. If he yells at me, I'll get over it. But basically, I use my tablet because of the fact that the bot systems. But most places are not going to do anything to implement bot protection. Most places are just going to go, it's a sale, I don't care, just go. And that's basically where you're going to run into is that there really isn't a good solution to get through all the bots. You really just got to try and find a source that has a really high volume, and you got to move. You got to know what you want. You got to like pre-look over the site, know exactly what you're going for, and just go and not hesitate. Every second that you hesitate thinking about something in there, the more chance you have of a loss. Blitzkrieg says, I remember Beanie Babies were the hyped up collectible all around time, that time. No one ever said Pokemon being a long-term hold. No. I was laughing because we were going through the closet and my siblings and I like collected all these Beanie Babies, and they're literally just sitting around. I think I even got a post on Instagram that shows I've got the old Beanie Baby investment guide that they made where it told you what the value of these things were going to be at certain time periods. So yeah, I still have Beanie Babies laying around here, and some of them do have value now. Some of them actually gone up in value just because of the fact that there's nostalgic behind it, that these things were valuable or were thought to be valuable at one point in time. So there's definitely, it's funny just the way that things turn, that things that we thought were going to have no value whatsoever, all of a sudden now do have value, and just because people didn't save them after they found out that they were worthless. We got here, AD's got beautiful. Which SV set has the best art in my opinion? Best art in my opinion in Scarlet and Violet. Personally, I have been doing a lot. I like a lot of the Illustrator Rares. So there isn't a specific set personally that I am really, really drawn to, except for when Prismatic Evolutions, of course. Their Illustrator Rares are fairly good, but I honestly, even the SIRs, I'm not a huge fan of them. I think that I like a lot of the Illustrator Rares from like Paradox Rift. Temporal Forces has got some really nice ones. Twilight Masquerade has some really good Illustrator. I am less looking for more looking for Illustrator Rares than I am for like SIRs. I'd rather have a lot of the Illustrator Rares. I like the artwork of the Illustrator Rares versus, the actual SIRs. So that's just my opinion. Paldean Fates, I love the Garnivore card in there. The Garnivore EX in that set is just pristine to me. So that one's probably one of my favorite alternate arts right now. I wish that Gengar would have gotten one in Temporal Forces. I was really hoping for a Gengar SIR in there, something that was Gengar Illustrator Rare at least, but all we got was the full art in that set, which was a little bit sad. Squirtle, so Stellar Crown's got the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur. I really do like both of those ones as well. So I'm kind of all over the place. I really don't have a specific set, so I'm kind of looking over here, trying to see like a specific set that I can say, yeah, this one, I love the Illustrator Rares, and this set is definitely number one. I really in my head, I really don't have a number one. Like, this set is the only set that I would love to open a ton out of, just because I want these specific illustrator rares. They all have them, so it's just not one specific set, and that's fine. I mean, if anybody's like that, that's absolutely fine, because there is a lot of fantastic artwork in these sets that people aren't even looking at some of the illustrator rares at this point in time, just because they're so focused on the chases again. A lot of the people coming into the hobby have focused down on the chase that they aren't necessarily looking at the illustrator rares, and there's some really good ones out there currently in this market. Blitzkrieg says Zenith. Yep, I'm with you on Zenith. I think that's a fantastic look at right now. The ETBs are still fairly affordable, and they've been kind of explosive. Plus, the chase rate and the number of chases in that set are just astronomical in the Sword and Shield, so it makes it a lot of fun. Hamburger Ron is in here. Thank you so much for joining in as well this evening. Journey Together, will it be reprinted with the promo or without? Might be one rarer version of the booster box. I think, if honestly, it'll be printed without. Maybe I might be completely wrong. I will not state that that's the only option we got at this point in time, but I will say that I truly do believe that they will reprint it without, because there was... So it did have, so I'm going to pull it open real quick, because there was the enhanced. Let me get it open here. Booster. There's 2 booster boxes already out there. And there is the enhanced, and then there's the regular booster box. So my thoughts is that they're probably just going to print the booster box. So, for example, they have the enhanced booster box. Where is it? Well, there was 2 of them. Now they get rid of the second one. So from my understanding, yeah, here it is. So there's 2 of them. There's the enhanced, and then there's the standard. So if you go here, this is the Journey Together, and this is the unenhanced, which is just the booster box right now. That one has no promo in it. And then there's the one with the white front, which just has the white, which had the spot for the card backer, which is the enhanced, and has the promo inside of it. So there's already 2 versions of that one out there currently, and I think that they'll just reprint it without the promo. That would be my thought processes. If it did come back as a reprint, I think you'd get it without. Hamburger Ron says Brilliant Stars because of the Trainer Gallery. Yes, Brilliant Stars I think is a good pickup right now in Sword and Shield. Pricing is still, well, up until recently has been reasonable, which is a good thing. But definitely gone up in price. I still think it's going to be an expensive purchase at this point in time. I just always think a lot of people that are watching me always seem to come for more budgetary things. So I think that it's still a really good pickup. The price is still right at under $450. As the Trainer Gallery goes, it's got the Umbreon in the Trainer Gallery, which is definitely going to be a big factor to the overall performance of that set. You got that Umbreon VMAX, you got that Umbreon V, you also got the Mimikyu V and VMAX inside of there, you got the Sylveon inside of there. I mean, this thing is loaded on the Trainer Gallery side. That really, really makes it fun. Plus, it's got the Flareon, Vaporeon, and the Jolteon Trainer Gallery and the Eevee. So it's got all 4 of the original OG Eevees inside of it, and Evolutions inside of this set. So, yeah, I think that overall, I have liked the Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery. But I do know the Lost Origins Trainer Gallery is a little bit stronger because of the fact it's Pikachus. The Pikachus inside of that gallery are still doing extremely well in Lost Origins, and it's showing. The booster box is definitely performing a lot stronger than it's almost $100 more currently for a Lost Origins booster box. But we do have those Pikachus inside of that set, which is a real drawing factor, because you got the Tina, which is a big factor, almost triple any of the cards right now in the Brilliant Stars line. You got the Aerodactyl still performing very, very well inside of there, but then you got the Pikachu VMAX, the Pikachu V, you got that Gengar inside of there, you got the Tina or the Charizard inside of there as well, you got that Pikachu Gold. I mean, you got a lot of banger cards inside of there, the Snorlax, which is another fan favorite card inside of that set. So there are a lot of really good fan favorite cards inside of that Trainer Gallery as well, but I think that Pikachu is definitely a big driving factor for the Lost Origins Trainer Gallery, and that Tina definitely driving that one up. All Trainer Gallery cards right now are doing extremely well, though, so there really isn't a a bad. The last 4 sets of Scarlet or Sword and Shield are definitely, there are none that I would say are horrible calls. The other one that I've been kind of watching a few times, I'm going to go pull it open right now, is Astral Radiance as well. Because Astral Radiance is actually kind of lingering behind, but as the other ones go up, that one seems to go with it. So there might be an opportunity in that as well, futuristically, that it'll continue to perform. But it's a little bit cheaper than Sword and Shield, but it's still performing fairly well. Make sure you guys, I see there's about 20 people watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well as you guys are hanging out with us here this evening. Keep the stream rocking and rolling here. Blitzkrieg says, I would say it would keep the promo, but unstamped. Well, then the card's in the set. So that's an illustrator rare in the set. So the unstamped promo is in the set already. So like how the center ETBs have one stamped, one unstamped. Yeah. So yeah, basically when you're looking at it, the Reshiram is already, En's Reshiram is already a set card. So they won't do that. They won't put it into the booster boxes unstamped because of that fact. So yeah, I just think that you're going to end up with a stamped version, and I think they're just going to do the unenhanced boxes. So you're just going to get the standard booster boxes versus the enhanced booster box, Journey Together enhanced booster box, which has the promo inside of it. Blitzkrieg, yep, like most promos in ETBs nowadays have promos. Yep, all of them, all the ones in Scarlet and Violet do. Blitzkrieg Shrouded is this era's Rebels Clash. It is. I think that Shrouded Fable is definitely going to, it's one of those sets that's just going to get dragged on as time goes on, but that's not always a bad thing. Like I said, it's a good little side investment that if you buy them now at $55, is it going to go up is it going to increase in value in a month or 2 months or a year? Yes, it probably will go up in value. It'll kind of get drawn up with everything else, especially with these low print rates. What's the last set of Scarlet and Violet? Supposedly it's black and white. So we're going to see if black and white's the last one, and then the mega set is supposed to be the switchover is what we're being told right now. I talked to the distributor and he had no idea. They have not been given any information at this point in time about the end of Scarlet and Violet or the new era, whether or not we're going to Gen 10, whether or not they're going to do a remake era, or are they going back after black and white and XY evolutions and kind of combining them into this double up deal with black and white and megas coming back. It's kind of all up in the air. Good night, Adro. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Thank you so much, Green Emoji Dude, for the thumbs up and the like. Greatly appreciated. And thanks for joining here this evening. Let's see here. Agent Crypto. How underrated is the Zard UPC? Seems like the last best play in the Sword and Shield block. It's very underrated. For what's inside of that particular box right now, if you wanted to spend a chunk of change and still have a very good play, that Zard UPZ is definitely a good play. Let me pull it open for today's pricing, because it seems like I should just get this open before every one of these lives, because someone always asks. Ultra Premium Collections. What's the price as of this week? So as of May 20th, we are at still about $310. So right now, $312 with shipping. So you're looking at about $312. It's really spiked. So basically, back about a week ago would have been the time to buy it. We have seen a gigantic spike. It went from about $270 up to about $310 now. So it's moving up. It's really accelerating in price. So is it an underrated product right now? Yes, because it has some very good versatility. Number one, the promos are continuing to go up in price. Number two, the packs inside of it. You get 16 Sword and Shield packs, all of which are banger packs. I mean, Astral Radiance is probably your least performing, but you got Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, all inside of that set. I believe there's even Lost Origin. I don't think it has Silver Tempest, because Silver Tempest released after this product release. So I think that it might have Lost Origin inside of it. I know it has Evolving Skies. I know it has Fusion, Brilliant, and Astro inside of it. And I believe it has Chilling Rain as well inside of this set. So there's a lot of good packs inside of this particular product. And I definitely think that currently, even at the $300 mark with the promos and the packs and the actual product itself, I think that it's going to continue to go up. I would rate right now, because it kind of spiked a little bit here this week. I would wait because it seems like it's kind of downturning a little bit. This may come back a little bit and then go back up again. So there might be a little bit of an opportunity on this one. Blitzkrieg says the pack choices in that Zard box are amazing. They are, and they're all highly sought after now. Really doing extremely well inside of the Pokemon TCG currently, and they're all really big banger sets from the Sword and Shield block. It looks nice on the shelf. I got one right down there. It's actually covered by the Mew right now, but the Mew's taken front. The 151 has taken its spot, but I am liking the UPC collection. I should bring my I do have my Celebrations ones that aren't out here. I have them in the safe, but Celebrations ones are actually kind of underperforming compared to the other ones out there right now. Secondhand hype. So if you had 1K to invest, how would you do it? So where would I put 1,000K right now? Based on current markets right now and product opportunity, I would probably split that up. And the problem is for me, I like having a lot of products. So 1K, I'm trying to think of how I would do that. It's been a while since I've gotten that question. I know I've done videos in the past about it, but I haven't done it recently. Let me take a look real quick. So for me, there are a lot of Scarlet and Violet opportunities right now. So if we go sealed product, for example, and let's just say that we stay in the Scarlet and Violet block at this point in time. Right now, I would be chasing who's getting the reprint. I would play what's the reprint game right now in Scarlet and Violet. So right now, we do know that Surging Sparks is getting a reprint. We do know that Twilight Masquerade just came out of a reprint. And we do know that Prismatic just got a reprint. So as you can see, the ETBs actually are on the downward trend, which is hard to believe that we're seeing that on a downward trend. But currently, the ETBs were at about 130, 140, and right now they're dropping down somewhere right around 105 to 110. So Prismatic Evolutions may be a good time to jump in, and it'll grab some value right away on that particular one, that set as well. You can almost buy a case of them right now for that $1,000. So is Prismatic going to continue to go down in a downward trend? I don't think so. I think now that we've gotten through the small reprint, the pricing is probably going to go back up. I could see this going back up to 120, 140 fairly quickly. And then I look at the long-term hold on Prismatic Evolutions. Is it going to, if you get a massive reprint in a year, is it going to be enough to really crush the overall performance of that particular box? No. I don't think Prismatic Evolutions will be crushed for very long. And you could probably get out of it knowing that a reprint's coming in time as well. Because it takes time. And by the time the prices go up to where they're getting to a massive reprint on set, you could really get out of it. Hamburger Ron says Brilliant Stars will catch Lost Origins over time, in my opinion. It may. I think they'll even out pretty close by the time it's all said and done. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Blitzkrieg secondhand. If I had 100K to invest, I would buy a bunch of hot dogs and buns with condiments and sell them to people waiting in line. Yeah, there we go. Take $1,000, go buy a bunch of food and buy a bunch of drinks, and just literally go and walk outside of those places and sell them for double the price. You make $2,000 in like a night. So Prismatic is one of them that with the current ETBs kind of flowing out, definitely decent. Booster bundles, another one of those products that are kind of flatlined right now. Hamburger On says they might reprint the whole era until Mega video games are ready. And they could. That's the other question is are they doing another? I have no idea at this point in time where we're going to be when it comes down to these particular products. You know, and how much reprints we're going to get, especially if they're changing where they're increasing the print facilities to potentially do more reprints. Could they do more of these older, like Prismatic? Could they print Prismatic like they did Shining Fates? Absolutely. And then there'll be some really good chances to get in on it. So there's hit or miss. Personally, I've been looking more still at Sword and Shield products. There's a lot of mites. That's the problem is that when a lot of these products are brand new still, I mean, realistically, all of these sets are still brand new. They're still within 2 years. They're all in the danger of what we call the reprint zone. There's all this opportunity that this thing could get a massive reprint at any point in time. And we just don't know. The 2 years is always the most difficult to make that decision. Why is that not coming up? Oh, it's 2020. Say, why is Vivid Voltage not coming? I mean, even some of these older Sword and Shield, they're dusty but trusty. Look at Vivid Voltage. It's dumb. You know, we sat there and dismissed Vivid Voltage. You go back in November, it was $122. It was $144 on TCG Player, $123 on eBay. Today, they're already up to $203, and they're over $200 on eBay. So, there again, maybe some older, vintagey, hard to say vintagey, but older Sword and Shield products may not do so bad. I mean, that's another option that you could be looking at as well, as some of these trusty, dusty, just steady moving products that just continue to slowly move up. I mean, Rebels Clash could pull that one up too. The redheaded stepchild of Sword and Shield. We were at 223 at the beginning of the year 6 months ago. And today, that same box right now is $300. So, once again, over 6 months, they just continue to keep moving up. Darkness Ablaze. Let's pull 6 months history on Darkness Ablaze. Could have bought it at $150 back in November 6 months ago. Today, it's at $250. So, once again, you've almost doubled up on that product. So, we are seeing just continuous, slow-moving growth. And that's also very, very good product when you can find an investment that just continues to grow really slow over time. Doesn't necessarily get explosive where you get these big ups and these huge downs. Sometimes a nice, slow-growing product will do really well. Blitzkrieg says they just started rotations, so there will be more product trickling into the public. Yeah, rotations just coming in now, so we're going into, what is it? We're losing Scarlet and Violet will be rolling out now, right? Because there are no more silver borders. So Scarlet and Violet, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, and Paradox? Trying to remember what letter is on Paradox. So CEF is H. The G group, I believe, is one that's rolling out right now. So anything with G on it will be rotating out. Just taking a look here. So yes, the G group will be rotating out now. Going through some of my bulk here, seeing what I got. Yes, so Obsidian Flames will be gone. I'm looking to see if I got Paradox. I do know it's Scarlet and Violet base set is rotating out. Paldea Evolved and Obsidian Flames will rotate out. I believe potentially Paradox. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't have any Paradox cards sitting here right now to really check. But yeah, that one, and I think Pokemon 151. So 151 will be out of rotation as well. Ron says Pokemon Company is smart. Why stop? Current demand isn't met. They will get the money now, and that's just smart business. Yeah, they'll just keep rolling it across. I think that they're just going to keep rolling it. They might increase 10, 15% to see if the market eats it up. If the market seems like it's faltering and not taking it, then they're just going to reverse and go back to where they are. They want to keep demand, especially through next year. But they don't want to lose people. So they're going to find a way, I think, with the new printing capacity to potentially just kind of levy it up a little bit to make it a little bit more available, but not overly available. He says, so Blitzkrieg said, if people would learn not to FOMO, scalpers wouldn't have income and leave. But by people craving, especially the new corners to the hobby, buying a high rate at high rates, causing people to follow high sales prices. Exactly. I mean, if people would just wait, be patient. Now, that hasn't worked out so well on some of these sets just because we haven't gotten reprints. Typically, we would say, hold on, just wait a minute, and then we get reprints, and the reprints would sit there and smother the scalpers right out where there was no value. So yeah, I mean, overall, I do definitely think that people need to stop hyping and FOMOing as much. But on the other hand, so far, Pokemon has proven that if you don't hype and FOMO a little bit, then there's a chance you will never see those products come. I'm opening up a card here. So, yes, Paradox Rift will be gone as well. So we're going to lose everything for the first 4 sets, and 151 will all be out of rotation coming up here. I believe it's happening. Actually, I think it's happening right now. So yeah, all of those ones have been rotated or will be rotating out. So we're going to lose all the way up Paradox Rift. Temporal Forces Forward will now be the active playable cards inside of the Pokemon TCG, which is good. I don't have to mess with my Gengar deck. It's always a good thing. But I got to take Roaring Moon out of there. So yeah, I'm going to have to update my one deck. So, all right, guys, I see there's 22 people out there. Hit that like button if you just came in. Make sure you join that. We are going to be closing up. Usually you do 1 hour live talking about what's going on in the market. So I appreciate everybody with the comments and the questions and the discussion. Greatly appreciated on that. And once again, it was Zenith. That was the other one I was going to look up, Blitzkrieg. I thought Zenith was gone because we didn't have any yellow borders. Because Zenith was a reprint of all the other ones. So Zenith, I believe, was already toast. That was an E or an F. Yep, Zenith has already been gone. As of the last rotation, yeah, rotated last week, I believe. Yep, rotation is done. We're all switching over already. So rotation is complete. We already are through that. That was done. Yeah, because this week was the first week we had to have it. OG Weedle Farm says they created the perfect storm. They definitely did. They've done a darn good job of creating the perfect storm when it comes down to this market. And they're going to keep feeding this storm, at least through next year. So I can guarantee that they're going to do nothing that will potentially damage the current storm that's out there right now. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody that's joined in. It's been a fantastic live. Greatly appreciated for everybody with the comments, as always. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button as you leave. Also, if you want to support the channel, consider the channel memberships or the merch down below. We do have a bunch of different merches, including hoodies, t-shirts, and that down in the store if you guys would like to support the channel. Cheap, and you get a nice, comfortable shirt out of the deal as well. Last but not least, once again, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have made it this far into the live. It's greatly appreciated for all our channel members to continue to support us. We are going to be live on Friday and on Sunday right now, 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm kind of avoiding baseball, so that way I can make sure that I can be present at 9 o'clock to try and be here for you guys, and that way we can get on with the lives. This live, if I am late on a game or away game and I don't get home until like 9 o'clock, I might start it at 9:30. This live, I'll kind of shift. The Rift and Ships, I try to stay pretty consistent on the time frames on those. So if you guys want to join us, just come on in, join us, have a discussion. That's absolutely fine with me. Otherwise, thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure you hit the likes as you leave.